I saw the doctor trying to go out there. It looks like that's for a lot of years.
The kind of the structure.
Oh, really? See, I just got, I haven't put it in, so I know you got a very big thing go farms. Or screen. We had a dishwasher. It was 2 years old. Just had a warning. It was the same, so I'll never buy another same. Oh, the horizontal. Yeah.
So what good to you? We'll see. We'll see. It still hasn't brought it to our attention here. Where are we? It hasn't brought it to us yet. It will.
That's clean.
Yeah, that sounds right. It's done.
Nothing that we ordered. Oh, wow.
I did. I did pretty good. I did.
She brought that up. I said, oh,
It's an refrigerator. It's a compressor refrigerator. It's real efficient. But
well, and some have access.
and there was a
Yeah. I can have some. Yeah. I think that's what we're supposed to do. Like you do get. Right. Right.
So it'll be so wild. It's like our show. That's it.
You did.
Okay. Good evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Roll call, please, Nancy.
Rask.
Here.
Stufflebean.
Here.
Boggs.
Here.
Fleming.
Here.
Rose. Black.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of our last regular meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Chuck, seconded by
Second.
Ken. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Roland, still no correspondence.
No correspondence this evening.
Okay. This is the time of the agenda when we can have general comments from the audience. Is there anyone who would like to make a comment at this time or reserve it until later? Okay, thank you. And do we have a public?
I don't have a public works report tonight.
About the TIF report, you do have, Roland? Anything you'd like?
The beginning balance for the month was $539,402.03. And there was one payment to Win Rob Properties, which was a TIF agreement, $10,642.69. The ending balance is $528,759.34.
Any questions on the church report? Okay. Thank you. Moving on to old business. Brian?
The first item we have is discussion on the OWL camera system and the laptop. It is on right now. And this is the first time that we are streaming live on YouTube. So you're all on camera tonight. With Dave's help, we've still got some tweaking to do on this, but I wouldn't recommend anybody right now to bring up your cell phone and log into YouTube just now. Well, you can wait and watch it after the council meeting is over. We've still got some tweaking to do on this just yet, but it is up and going. So we're going to have some tweaking to do on the cameras. There are 8 microphones. There's a split camera. The front of it is a 360-degree panorama of the whole room, so everybody can see everybody. But as you speak, the mics are supposed to pick up who's talking, and it brings your photo up. Apparently right now the camera doesn't think much of the front here because the only one I see is Dave and Wayne on a regular basis. So, but it's something that we're going to have to adjust to the camera and get everything going. So.
Okay. Well, thank you, Roland. Thank you, Dave, for your help also. Appreciate it.
So we'll see how it does.
Hopefully, innovation for us. Yes. Anything else on that, Roland?
No.
Under old business. Okay. New business, please.
We have 3 gentlemen here this evening that are with our Recreation Commission, and I'll give the floor to those gentlemen, and they're going to give us a report on where they're at with everything. So.
Let's see if it picks up at the podium.
It did till it.
Kind of give an overview of where we're at this year. We had about 34 girls, 33 girls for the softball program this year. And between T-ball, which we have 4 teams, and the boys side, baseball, we had 110. So 111. So we had about 144 kids this year that came out to the program, which after the last year, we thought was a pretty good time. We started the year off with signups. We brought in around, we had a carryover from last year since we had to cancel the season kind of after signups. Parents had the options, just rolling their stuff over this year or taking a refund last year and then signing up this year. We had a lot of parents roll over, which was a good thing. We brought in around $5,000 in signups last year. We did some work on the diamonds, some dirt added with the city's help. We've done a little work on the batting cages with more to come. We'd like to keep making, put some turf in there, cover the concrete, a little better netting, better use for the kids. So at the beginning of the year, we were sitting around about $19,200 in our account. After we had to buy a line this year. We had to buy extra catcher's equipment because we had so many kids, which is a good problem to have. Our league fees, uniforms, all that stuff. We're sitting right now about $13,741 in our account currently. We're hoping to have another turnout like we did this year for next year. The good news is pretty much everything we got for signups last year covered our expenses for the year. So we didn't have to come out of pocket this year, which was kind of one of our worries. We didn't have concession stands this year, but we did do sponsorships this year. We were a little worried about asking businesses around town after COVID for sponsorships. Now that we're looking a little better next year, we're gonna ask for, we'll start asking for sponsorships. And those things. That's all I have. Unless you got any questions for me?
Happy with everything that's gone on all year.
Yeah.
Good shape.
Didn't have any issues with the fields. Thank you guys for maintaining pretty well. The facilities are good. Next year we are going to have concession stands back, which will be nice. And hopefully that'll help cover some of our umpire teams next year. So hopefully next year will be a little bit in the green, and then we can, not even, and we can keep doing improvements. With Rollins and Dave side. So that's the plan moving forward.
Very good. Well, thank you all, all of you, for all that you do. Appreciate it very much.
I just asked the question. My daughter plays softball, so we're there at a lot of games. I don't know whose responsibility the lights are. If it's part of the league or part of the park or anything that, but we have huge issues with the lighting.
So the lighting was an issue this year. The panel burned off Rollins. We probably speak. The city takes care of that for us. We're kind of on that.
We were involved with Roy Keith Electric. It was a situation where the electrical switch to turn off and on through 35 years, the mechanism inside was getting bad, and it was generating enough heat that it was popping the fuses. They shot a thermometer on it, and it was almost 500 degrees inside the box. So we shut the power off until we get a new controller and system put in. It's about $3,500 to get it redone. But not unlike everything else, you can't get equipment now because there's none of it's available. So it will be fixed before next year, and that will be eliminated. But
it's fixed now.
did he get it done?
So it's fixed now. So we're ready. We're good to go for next season.
Okay.
Any questions of the council people or these gentlemen?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
The next item we had at the council meeting last couple weeks ago, there was a question about the idea of putting let me get this reset. Okay. To get air conditioning into this room. I met with Steve Jokum with G&M Mechanical, and we started looking at some of the other issues we've got at this building. So if we're going to install air conditioning in this room, then we need to look at some other issues where there's some problems. So in the girls' office, the heating core in that unit that was fed from the boiler, the core went bad. So we had to shut it off. There are no parts available for that unit. So I installed two electric furnace units along the wall for heat for the girls. A little over a year ago, the central air works in the office for 'em, but there's an air conditioner condenser for my office that stopped working a year ago. And so I put in an air conditioner unit in my window. But both of those air conditioner units are still old R12 Freon that you can't get anymore. The compressors on my side is junk. The police department has an air conditioner unit above their outdoor back door. We took the windows out of a divider between the front and back of the office. We installed fans and we circulate the air around to try and get cooling for the police department. With the proximity they are of where the boiler is, the heat gets really hot in there or the heating does in the winter, to where they almost have to run the air conditioner to get it cooled back down. So, with that being done, we looked with Steve if we were to put in a furnace and an air conditioner in the hallway here, and we duct it to the two offices, to this office, and to the police department. We can then probably take the controls on our existing boiler, drop the temperature down. It's only going to run at about 60% of its demand now, which is going to make the boiler last longer, because all we have to do is keep the rest of the building from freezing. We'll put separate controllers between the council chamber and the PD and the other offices. So Steve put together, and that's what I put into your agenda, is a Lennox 90,000 BTU in the hallway, and they're going to put a 2-stage air conditioner unit on the roof, and that will eliminate the other 2 units we've got up there, with new supply ducts. Price includes running the ductwork into each of all the 4 rooms. The estimate for labor and material is $24,400. So whether you folks want to save some of the wear and tear on the boiler, we can cut our costs here a lot with running that boiler the way we do now in order to get heat to everything. We run it at about 130 degrees from October till March, and then each room as it needs. We rely on air compressor. These are all, thermostats are all run by pressure, not electric. So I don't know what direction you folks want to go.
From the council?
We don't have a clear pathway to build with the shortages. Just like trying to get the electrical for the ballparks. I mean, you don't know what you can get and what you can't get. We're stuck here for a while. And we had this issue with heating. It sounds like this will definitely help with that. I know that boiler it's always a ringing prayer with that boiler.
It is 1967, I think, boiler.
So this would solve some problems.
It could save us some money, especially through the winter months. We're going to run the boiler at a third of its capacity instead of
Yeah.
90%.
I'm just throwing things out. Brainstorming. Now we've got issues with
Roland, is this a firm estimate or just a rough estimate of what it might cost?
Well, at 24,000, we're going to have to put that out for bids, don't we, Bill?
25 is the threshold now.
Okay.
You could proceed on it, or you could bid it, see if we can get less.
Could I ask you a question? I'm sorry. But when I ran, I brought my experience with me. And I'm going to put my project manager hat back on, a construction manager type, I guess, more of a project manager. But normally, you would first, I would think, that we would want to poll the community or something to see, do they want another city building, or is this where we're going to stay? I think you have to make that decision before you start dumping HVAC units, and start doing that. Not that it doesn't need to be done, not saying it doesn't need to be done, but I mean, the boilers work as long as your pneumatic controls are taken care of, they function. You got to change a heating coil, I get that. But, and granted, the first meeting I was with you guys, I sat in there and noticed the fan between the doors and chuckled about you guys have seen the Red Green show, you got to fix everything with that tape. I was like, it's just what you're kind of left with at some point when there's no money, there's no budget, there's no real plan. And that would seem to me like something that the committee would look at. Are we going to stay here? We're going to stay here. What are we going to have to do? Are we going to make it functional? Are we going to make it nice? I understand you guys already had a couple of construction companies go through and give some ideas as far as what would have to be changed, what had to be fixed. But in the meantime, the roof's leaking, there are places that just fix roofs, and you got to take care of it. You can't just let it go because then you're stuck. But are we staying here or not? Well, then we got to start working on the other plan. We got to start doing some community meetings. We got to do some kind of education with the people so that we can get things to move forward or not move forward. Either way, you got to know which way you're going to go, I think, before we start doing this. And I would think that the committee then would look at the things that would need to be done and make them a priority list. So you don't have to do them all at once. Just put this is something that has to be done now, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So then we've got kind of a plan as far as what we're going to do. Because this would fix this plan, this hole down here. But if you're going to redo the whole building, then you're going to have to put in multiple of those. Or
we're also going to need to look at the roof because it seriously needs to have repairs done to it because there's a lot of leaks now.
And there's a company, I can talk to you. There's a great company that fixes those because I was in old buildings just like this. I swear the one I was just retrofitted was built the same year this one because it looks exactly the same. Or it looked exactly the same. And you can make them work. It's just most of the time when people end up tearing down buildings and doing this because they quit taking care of them a long time ago. And then they just go to hell. And once your roof is to the point you can't really do anything with it, well, then you're into millions of dollars to fix it as opposed to hundreds of thousands. So it's just, what is the priority? What is the will of the council, I guess is what I'm asking. I don't really know that.
Prior to you getting on the council, we had had many discussions, and the council members were all in agreement that we should not stay in this building because, the lack of repair over many years. even prior to us getting the building for $1. You know, hindsight's always 20/20, and we probably should have, the council back then probably should have passed on maybe many of these buildings. But it was supposed to be temporary, and temporary turned into 20 years or 16 years or whatever.
With absolutely no maintenance.
Correct. Well, very little patch jobs. And then, you know, for 3 years, we kicked around what we wanted to do here, what direction we wanted to go. And, you know, we started getting numbers on buildings and rehabbing this, and then, you know, we looked at 2 other places, and a 3rd place, and then COVID hit. And then the prices, you know, skyrocketed. Me personally, I think we need to hold off on any AC units for years until we determine what direction we're going to go. If we're going to stay here, then we need to, you know, jump in with both feet, get us a priority list on what we want to do, you know, long term, short term, you know, within the next 6 months. But even at that, I think we're looking at the price of construction material is so high. It's starting to come down a little bit, but that doesn't mean next year it's going to not be back up again.
Well, yeah, but a lot of what we're going to do won't necessarily, a lot of this is labor, and especially with growth and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm all about that. Let's get a committee together. Let's decide.
And we do have a committee.
Good.
Public grounds, all good. Yeah. But at the end of the day, when you rehab the roof that you was at in a school like this, did they put a pitch roof on it, or did they come in and they just cleared off all the rock that was up there?
I'm talking about fixing the leaks.
Correct.
I'm not talking about redoing the roof. When you redo the roof, you use cement, right?
Right, but there's multiple.
So you get them in here with a water detector, they go down. But I mean, I'm not saying that it's not there. I realize it's an issue.
Right.
But
I know initially the council wanted me to get a quote on air conditioning for this room, but everything else plays into this as far as what we do.
Kind of like at home, everything you do at home, one thing leads to another.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have a committee meeting
Yep.
next meeting.
I'm going to suggest that, Chuck. Yeah, you can talk about this.
6 o'clock, 6:30, 18. Is that right? Is it 8:02?
And what time?
Yeah,
Chuck?
2. Have we got an hour's worth to talk about? Let's meet at 6.
It's 6 o'clock. Okay. So we'll begin that process again. So I think that's a good idea. Make it nice,
I'm sorry,
logical.
I didn't realize you were when you tried to decide to slip to this.
No, well, it needs to be done. Right? It's a whole new set of circumstances now. Everything's changed.
Well, maybe bring those reports you had done before, because that'll have all the things that they're going to do here, so we can at least have a look at what it is that would have to happen here for it to be useful.
I have about 10 or 12 packets in my office on everything. So you're welcome to stop in.
I said, let's get started.
That's right.
You just didn't talk about that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No
So 6
problem.
o'clock, the next meeting?
Yes.
Committee meeting. Very good. Well, thanks for getting that. Thanks for your suggestions, Dave, and your response, Joey and Chuck. Tim?
Have you taken into consideration how much you would save by backing down the price of how much to run the boiler in comparison to what we spend for this new unit? Would it be worth that investment over a period of time? That's not a return on your money.
Yeah, would probably pay itself out in probably 2 or 3 years.
We don't plan on moving anytime soon. Even if you started the building tomorrow, it'd be,
2 years before we'd move.
just a thought.
It's a good thought to keep in mind. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the question.
We'll plan on discussion August 2nd at 6 p.m. The next item I have is going to be a first reading, possible action on ordinance. But I want to give the floor to Bill Connor and bring you up to date as far as changes in the Open Meetings Act with the COVID and what's going on.
So,
No.
old rule, which is about to become a new rule again, because the governor saying he's going to no longer have a disaster declaration in place when currently runs out on 24th, I think. The old rule is you could only have a member of the council appearing remotely if they were gone for employment, personal illness, or some sort of emergency. That rule was suspended during COVID and did not have to have even a quorum present under the COVID rules. But you did have to have at least a quorum present under the old rule. So the old rule, again, it's going to become a new rule pretty soon, says that the council can allow one of its members or more, as long as they have a quorum present physically at the council meeting, to appear remotely for one of those 3 reasons. But we really don't have a rule in place or an allowance of that in place in the code book. So I talked to Roland, and we think it might be a good idea to just authorize that option for one or more of you to appear for one of those 3 reasons in the future, just in case we're each seesawing back and forth with COVID rules and not COVID rules. And so that's what this ordinance would do. I don't know if there's a pressing emergency to pass it, other than, at least the last thing I heard out of the governor's office was that the last disaster declaration was not going to be extended. Things are changing a little bit out there, though, so that may change too. But that's what's in front of you for your consideration. You could kick this around and pass it next meeting or 5 meetings from now. There's no major harm to that, unless somebody's got a work trip or something they have to take and they want to participate.
Thank you, Bill.
I'd like to make a motion that you read ordinance number 2021-13 by title only.
Thank you, Joey. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Second, Jim. Roll call, please, Nancy.
Boggs,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Rask,
Yes.
Stufflebeam.
Yes.
Thank you.
For the city of Farmington, ordinance number 2021-13 is an ordinance amending section 1-5-6 of the city code of the city of Farmington to implement rules for remote participation at regular and special meetings of the city council. That is your first reading, number 2021-13.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the second reading of ordinance number 2021-13.
Been a motion made to waive the second reading. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Nate. Thank you. Roll call, please, Nancy.
Boggs,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Rask,
Yes.
Stufflebeam.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve ordinance number 2021-13.
The motion to approve 2021-13. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Nate. Thank you. Roll
Can I
call,
ask you a
please.
question?
Yes.
We have a discussion. Real quick. So this is not saying that they have to be on a teleconference, it can be on a telephone.
Yes, I
Just a
believe
person
so.
Sitting there with work, just voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other council question? Thank you, Dave. Roll call, please, Nancy.
Boggs,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Rask,
Yes.
Stufflebeam.
Yes.
Thank you.
That is the last I have for new business, excluding your declaration of the local state.
I do have a declaration of local state of emergency again pursuant to the authority vested in the office of mayor by the Illinois Municipal Code, section 511-1-6, the Illinois Emergency Management Agency Act, section 330511, and ordinance 2020-06 of the city of Farmington. I, Kent Cowell, mayor of the city of Farmington, do hereby declare that a local state of emergency exists as of this date, April 22, 2020, and shall continue until such time as provided in ordinance 2020-06, and that the nature of the emergency is a nationwide pandemic of the COVID-19 virus. And I would entertain committee reports, beginning with David on finance ordinance
No.
and Joy on public safety.
Nothing report, sir.
Ken on sewer,
No report this evening, sir.
and Nathan on street sidewalks. So
Nothing to report, sir.
Parks and recreations, not. Public grounds, and we already we'll have a meeting next month early. Are there any other comments from the audience at this time? Ken, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, first thing I would say is the only reason I'm here is I've already asked all of you to look at the Illinois Code of Ethics. You know, that was over a month ago. And then I came in here and I presented evidence that the mayor has two different economic statements. Beyond that, he has even more than two. I can prove it all the way back to when the mayor was actually a city council member. Nothing. But yet, the city council has done nothing about any complaint about the mayor being involved in any criminal or unethical acts by or with the Bank of Farmington. Period, point blank. Bank of Farmington's getting rich. His buddies are getting rich. His wife's getting rich. He's getting rich based off of our tax-paying dollars. Nobody here has anything to say. Look at it. Nobody has anything to say. I present the evidence. Evidence doesn't matter here. That's what it comes down to. Now, since I already have Representative Block's office, I have Sherry Butos' office. She actually has her own investigation center. They're all getting everything that you guys got, plus plenty more. Everything that your lawyers have. You have two lawyers. Two. What do they do for you? Nothing. I'm asking for a vote of no confidence in 2 weeks for the mayor and for Mr. O'Connor. He helps cover up his corrupt crap. I've already proved he is corrupt. He turns around and lies. He works for the Bank of Farmington. He doesn't work for us as the people. We are the people that pay taxes. Oh, matter of fact, my taxes, and this is brought up, the mayor knew about it before the Arms got their building next to me, that it was going to lower our tax values. My tax value used to be $1,200 when I bought my house, and it was a piece of crap. Why don't you ask Mr. Stufflebeam over there? My house was a piece of crap before I bought it. But now my taxes, matter of fact, they just lowered them again. $394. That's what you did to my house value. You knew about it before you did it, and you did it. That's me. I have to live with that. But now we're going to get justice. One way or the other. Either you guys bring him to justice, or I promise you, all my evidence is going to the state's attorney's office, which Representative Loft's office already totally recommended. Sherry Butos' office is actually going to investigate about the tip money that's been given to the alms, the tip money that's put inside the mayor's wife's bank that he's profiting off of, the same tip money that you guys want to use for our coronavirus, blah, 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 that, guess what? We got to pay it. We don't pay it to the employees. We pay it to the owners. Guess what? His wife is an owner. I brought this up. I showed you guys the evidence. He wanted a letter to make sure that it went to the Bank of Farmington. But we're paying for it. I paid so much living in this crap hole of a town. And that's what it is. When is the Constitution? You guys all sit there and make everybody stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, there's freaking justice for all. Where the hell is the justice in this town? How many of you served our country like me? And then you wonder why I'm pissed off. I can't even walk home without having somebody turn around and try to stop me in the damn parking lot because I'm questioning people in here. And the person that I'm speaking about will know exactly who I'm speaking about. I should have the same rights as everybody else, but I don't. And I'm tired of it, and I'm glad that everybody gets to know that there's a problem here. And I keep presenting this problem, but nobody wants to talk about the problem. It's like, oh, there's corruption here. We know about it. But guess what? Let it lie. Let it lie. You know what? It's let lie long enough. Because there's plenty of people out there besides me that are pissed. And they're happy that I am the one person that will speak up about it. And they keep coming to my house and pushing me and pushing me. And I tell them, I'm not here to fight everybody's battles. I got my own problems. I got my big enough battle for myself. And you, Mr. Mayor, you started this. You started way back with my little truck, and you just kept building on it and building on it and building on it. And you got Mr. Connor over there that is not representing you in a court of law because you don't want Mr. Connor to have to report to the judge of exactly what he knows. Just like I always hear, oh, that's client attorney privilege, blah, blah, blah. But that's why you're not sending him to court. And I want everybody to know that's why he's not going to court. That's why we're paying for 2 attorneys. But since we're paying for 2 attorneys, we can get rid of one of them and we can get rid of you just based off of evidence. Evidence. How many of you actually look at evidence? Joey,
Aaron,
how many times do you know I got 5 minutes? I got more than 5 minutes. I've already talked to the VA attorney, and the VA attorney told me you are not allowed to discriminate.
not
against-
discriminating.
You're
You
not
have
the
5
Weekly Post.
minutes.
Weekly Post can write all the crap that they want to, but you can't. That's why I got Nancy. Trust
You
me.
have 5 minutes, sir.
No, you know what? Under the United States Constitution, you have to treat everybody as an equal individual.
Believe
I've
we've always
never
have.
heard you turn around and tell the preacher that sat here and talked for 14 minutes. 14 minutes. 1 month ago, I sat right here and I timed the whole thing. It wasn't brought up in the Weekly Post. Oh, he over demanded. Oh, the city council meeting for 14 minutes. No, I hear Aaron overwhelmed the city council for 11 minutes. That's what I read. Now we got the real thing right here. We're going to talk about corruption. You know, this is what it comes down to. And besides that, there's plenty of other things. I turned around and I have brought up about things like bicycle safety for the kids. Has that ever been brought up? You think the Weekly Post is ever going to say, hey, Aaron never freaking brought up about doing something great for the kids? They're the ones that turned around and said it was the mayor's idea to drug test the police officers. Everybody already knows whose idea it was, who brought it up and was repeatedly talked bad about, because I was the one that brought it up. Who brought it up about bringing in a video camera inside this room a year and a half ago? Who brought it to your office and told you I want to brought it to a vote a year and a half ago? How long did it take? I want full disclosure. I'm not like you guys. I don't try to hide shit.
Nobody
Period.
is trying to hide anything, sir.
Oh,
And
okay.
enough.
No,
Aaron,
no,
enough.
no. You want to end this whole meeting? Have me arrested? Come on, see if I don't have enough money to get out. Huh? And see if I don't turn around
I'm
and
not
bring that
trying-
up as evidence.
I'm not trying to aggravate you.
I'm just saying,
You've had your
there's
time.
certain things that
Enough.
I have to say that I'm bringing up, and it's going to be brought up. Okay? Bicycle safety, brought up. I turn around and I was the one that says that all of our police officers should turn around and have to take a physical training test. Oh, that doesn't matter. When I brought up about turn around and drug testing police officers, oh, what did the Mr. Mayor say over there? We already have a drug policy. But 4 months later, oh, Weekly Post says, hey, Mayor came up with a great idea. Let's start drug testing police officers. What kind of crap is that? You know, this is all common sense shit that I bring up to you people. Common sense. And I'm tired of getting beaten down for it. There's all these little things that I ask, and I can't get a damn thing done inside here. Because, you know what? The way I look at it, this is organized crime. You guys all work for the Bank of Farmington. Period.
I
Bank
work
of Farmington
for
rules.
I work
The
for
mayor
the
gets
city.
to, now wait.
I
No,
work for
no,
the
stop.
city of
Stop.
Farmington.
I am talking. I am not turning around. I don't ever interrupt you when you're talking. Rollin, you know I like you, but guess what? I'm still sticking up for myself. We talked about this before. Nobody else here in this town is going to look out for me. You know what? Who has to look out for me? Me. I've been screwed over 100 times over, and I got a zillion laws that say it, and I got to sit there and read and read. I got to do things that no other man should ever have to do just to protect their own property. But I have to do it. You really think I like this? You think I absolutely want to be here? I so told my girlfriend I didn't want to come up here. And I says, if I don't come up there tonight and request for this vote, guess what? They're just going to put it off and put it off and put it off. But now that I have it documented, I can take it to the Attorney General and I can say, hey, look at these people. They know they've had the evidence. They know what's going on, and they're allowed to keep going on. It's no different than obstruction of justice. Period, point blank. If you know a crime is going on and you have not reported it, Mr. Connor is beyond unethical. And he doesn't think I can prove it between how much he's gotten paid to look at stuff about me, but how much stuff has he looked about the alms? How much stuff has he looked at about, has the mayor? The mayor says that Mr. Connor says it's legal for him to turn around and profit off of our tax-paying dollars through the Bank of Farmington. It's legal for his wife to profit. It's legal for his buddy Hess and their family to profit, including all the rest of the so-called stockholders in the Bank of Farmington. I want to know how many of you are withheld to the Bank of Farmington. How many of you have mortgages through the Bank of Farmington that they could easily just pull from you with a snap of the finger if you turn around and go against the mayor. That's legal leverage. I'm not stupid. Y'all don't freaking look at it the way I look at it, and the way real people look at this. And this is real people coming to me. We want certain people gone because we're not going to have a new beginning until we have an end of corruption. And that's what we have here, is it corruption, period, point blank. We're supposed to have an ethics officer by the state of Illinois. I've even turned around, and Rollin knows, I've legally asked for the documentation on this. Yes, we are supposed to have one, according to whatever legal ordinance or whatever it is that he gave me. But yet, you guys can't tell me who our ethics officer is. Nobody can. How many jobs does Rollin have? Rollin has city manager. He also has, as far as I know, as the building inspector. But yet, Rollin has no experience whatsoever as a building inspector. He has no knowledge of reading blueprints. He has no knowledge of plumbing, air conditioning, electrical, because the Alms turn around, and we can ask him right now. He's sitting right here, and we can get it all publicly known. The Alms told him he hard drive his electrical from the outside, that there is no way to turn off the lights. But the thing is that would be a violation of Illinois building code. Now, wouldn't you think our building inspector would know that? You can't hard drive it, because if you can't shut it down when there's a fire, what good does that do? That's common sense, people. That's why they make these laws. You got to be able to shut down the power if there's a fire. But yet, since he was a city council member, he's allowed to lie. He's allowed to get away with whatever he wants. Sometimes somebody needs to step up and say, hey, this is wrong. We need to fix it. Guess what? It wasn't me that was involved in this, but we need to fix it. That's all I've ever asked. Fix stuff. Simple stuff, common sense stuff. Drug test our police officers. Give them physical fitness. Another thing is why do we spend so much money on training our police officers to go work for other police stations? That's what we do. We shouldn't have to. Let's pay them more money. Let's pay them an equal opportunity wage. I've made this perfectly known to many people that know me. You guys want to own our police department? Mr. Mayor, you have turned around and personally told our police chief not to investigate stuff. You have personally told him to send out illegal tickets. You don't think so? You don't think I can prove it in a court of law? Bring it on. I will bring it on.
Are you done, sir?
No. I want to know who is our actual, not police chief, but who is above the police chief. Who is the police commissioner? That's what I want to know.
We don't have a police commissioner
We don't have a police commissioner, so that means that you and the chief have the right to tell, or you and the mayor have the right to tell the chief what can be investigated, what cannot, who gets a ticket, who cannot, right? Because you are incorrect. Any other place that I've been, guess what? The mayor had no control over the police department. Had no control. He could put in his little word, but I can prove that our mayor, he steps over his bounds. And there's plenty of people that have been in here and seen that he has stepped over his bounds. See, now I have this right to turn around and take this to the people. The people that don't want to come in here. I've had so many people say, they're just corrupt. I know they're corrupt. You really think I want to be down there? But everybody has faith in me. That's a lot of freaking weight on my shoulders. So I have to do something. I have to. I'm a United States veteran. I would have died for that flag without a shadow of a doubt. I would have died for all of your miserable freaking lives in here. All of you cowards that never freaking love that flag like I love. But I'll tell you this much. I believe in the law. I believe in the Constitution. And I'm bringing it to all of you. Make the right decision. He needs to go. He needs to go. You got a lawyer. Call your lawyer. Nathan, whatever his name is. See if I'm right. Because you know what? The judge knows I'm right. And he knew it when we were in court. And I told you all that he wanted to see an evidence hearing. Shit's going to go down. Now, either all of you go down with it, or you do what I told you to do. Go read the rules of ethics. I guarantee you, Nancy, you're gone. Rollin, I'm pushing for you, brother.
I think we've had enough for tonight.
No, I'm not done yet. Rollin, I like you. Don't interrupt me. I already told you. Because you better be able to prove that you pull that 5-minute rule with everybody. And you don't.
Yes, sir.
No, you don't. You did not pull it on the freaking preacher. The same preacher. Let's bring that up. That Matt Ong says, hey, we should buy the library for $600. Guess who got paid out of that $600? That was closing costs and to pay Mr. Connor, for doing the paperwork. And then 14 months later, Ong's had no problem saying, hey, let's sell that building over there for $44,000. Yeah. So we can put it inside the mayor's bank so his wife and him profit. Come on. Let's bring up about how Ong's turned around and voted about the schoolhouse down here. Let's not sell it for $10,000 to a business owner that wanted to turn it into a business. And I actually have the minutes on it that he protested about that. Let's sell it to, a Farmington bank employee for $5,000. That's greater for the city. Everything about the best for the city. You guys, you don't know what the hell's best for the city. He only knows what's best for his buddy's pocketbooks. And me and the real people in this town are tired of it. But me, I don't play with bullies. I don't play well. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I don't play well with bullies. I will not be bullied.
This is something you need to bring to court.
No,
that's why
this
you
is something
started.
That I need to bring to city council that can be seen by all the people so they know what's actually going on. And some of this stuff hasn't even been brought up in court. Hasn't even been brought up yet in an affidavit. But it will be brought up in my affidavit to the Attorney General. And it will be also brought up, plus many other things, to the Federal Attorney General, since it has to deal with TIF money. And if it comes down to that they find out that, yes, the Bank of Farmington has been profiting off of TIF money, even though that the city knows that, hey, the mayor's involved with the Bank of Farmington, guess what? Who's legally liable? Sure the hell not me. I'm the one that did my job. I don't even take an oath. I'm going to do this. But I took an oath to that flag. And I honor that. No matter to this day. If our country was attacked tomorrow, I'd be the first person out there with whatever I had. Baseball, bat, knife, doesn't matter. I'm there to protect that flag. I'm there to protect the people that cannot protect themselves from this country. And guess what? I am not going to let people in here take advantage of people that don't know. Because there's plenty of people that don't know. But I'm not one of them. And I'm not going to put up with it. I know how to look at evidence. Just like a judge knows how to look at evidence. Just like a jury knows how to look at evidence. So I just want you all to remember, eyes are going to start being on all of you. You got 2 weeks. Call your other attorney. I want a vote for no confidence in Mr. O'Connor, because I guarantee you, Mr. O'Connor is going to end up having to show up to court because he wants to play this, oh, this is all attorney, client privilege, bullshit, blah, blah, blah. But yet he has to still see everything. Everything. I don't know if all of you know this, but Rollin has to send still Mr. Connor everything that I turn around and I ask under the Freedom of Information Act. He has to still look at everything. Rollins still has to report to Mr. Connor about anything that I file with courts. So that means you have 2 attorneys. That means that the judge needs to know that you have 2 attorneys. One attorney that can turn around and testify about having talks with me on the phone and known about illegal acts that the mayor has been involved in, which violates ethical rules, which the ARDC is going to know about. And if all of you don't know what the ARDC is, hey, go ask Mr. Kine. I'm sure you can pay him $100 or $200 and he can explain it to you. I'm that much smarter. I know who these people are. I have backup. I have plenty of witnesses. Plenty of witnesses. And people are coming to me and saying that they'll be more than happy to testify. Because nothing has been done. Since any of my complaints have gone through, nothing. And since we do not have people that are actually qualified to do their positions here in Farmington, but we do have $17,000 to spend on the mayor's pipe dream of having a new building, but we don't have enough money to investigate not one criminal nor unethical activity that I report. Isn't that kind of funny? Now, Rollin, if you would like to turn around and ask somebody like that, and this craziness, go ahead.
Ken Fossey had a comment.
Chuck?
Yeah,
So,
2 things. First of all, I don't know who the hell you are, okay? I really don't care.
I'm the baddest motherfucker in town.
No, you're not.
Yes,
You're
I
not
am.
even close. You're the idiot who lives down here in the corner. Don't let Dallas move out. My question is this.
Here, you want to buy a house? I'll sell it to you. Come on, dumbass. I'll sell it to
I'll
you.
give you $1 for it.
Oh, yeah, that's what anybody else would do. See? Price value went down. Went down. No, you don't have to explain anything. Are you an attorney?
go ahead.
Are you anybody with any intelligence?
Gentlemen.
Aaron, Mr. Fossey.
You got yours and you got mine.
Yeah, because I'm a hell of a lot smarter than you.
Find out from this.
Mr. Fossey has the floor.
Do something about the ditch alongside my house. Do you think they'll ever get these street fixed? No, I was here last week and
And the gentleman I need to talk to is on vacation. So I'll get with him and I'll have an answer for you the next couple of days.
I'll talk to you later.
Pardon?
I'll talk to you later. You stay on.
That's how all the underground shit goes on down here. I'll talk to you later. Here, behind closed doors. Let's do everything behind closed doors. Oh, yeah. Here, I'm your buddy. I lived in here in Farmington. I went to Farmington. Oh, if you don't live in Farmington, you don't have rights.
Let's keep it down.
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
Motion by Chuck, is there a second?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Adjourn. Hmm.